Good afternoon. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive, and I'm here with the Chair of the Westchester County Board of Legislators in her shop, Catherine Borgia, and members of the Board of Legislators here in the rotunda on the 8th floor outside of the chambers of the County Board of Legislators. Our purpose today is to take a very good idea, which has become a very good passed bill, and turn it into law in Westchester County, something that is good for the environment and something that is good for economic purposes for businesses and for consumers as well. Chairwoman Catherine Borgia will outline a little bit of it, and then she'll turn it over to the bill sponsor. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. County Executive. So this is one of those rare occasions where all the stars aligned, and not too slowly, in that we had a good idea, a legislator took it, ran with it, decided that she was going to preempt any objections and won over the potential opposition, because this particular piece of legislation requiring that you request plastic service items is actually something that helps the environment, helps consumers, and, miracle of miracle, also helps businesses. So it was one of those situations where a good idea really got momentum, went through fast, and we are going to improve the environment of Westchester County as well as improving the business climate of Westchester County. But I don't want to tell you too much about it because the story really belongs to Legislator Erica Pierce, who I will introduce right now. Erica.
Thank you. You know, we can say that this legislation was born in my junk drawer. My husband, this was the curse of my husband's life. I collected all the single-use service items that were ever given to us that we didn't need to use because I couldn't bear to throw them away. And so they became a mountain which, when we first introduced this legislation last fall, got dumped on the conference table. And I do want to say that while I am so proud that we voted this through last night, I want to give a special shout out to the Katona Elementary School 5th grade, who came here on a mock legislature, and they were actually the first group to adopt this legislation. We are drowning in unnecessary single-use items, most of which are made of plastic, and all of which are paid for by our local businesses. Nationwide, billions, I heard last night 40 billion, in fact, on average, of these food accessories are thrown away annually, many of which were only used once, some of which were never used at all. And the vast majority of them cannot be recycled. They add to our plastic pollution crisis, litter our neighborhoods, rivers, and oceans, add to our overflowing landfills where we have landfills, and here in Westchester County, they feed our incinerator. Local business owners pay for them. We pay to dispose of them. And those who live near the areas where they may be disposed of sometimes, in fact, pay again. So what does this legislation do? And I would say that we like to call this legislation upon request. And so, I'm going to keep referring to it as that. What does this bill do? It reduces waste and saves our local food businesses money by reducing the number of items they will need to purchase. It will also save all of us money because it will reduce the number of items in our waste stream. It allows businesses to provide single-use service items to straws, forks, chopsticks, and sealed single-service condiments when customers ask for them. So that's, you still get what you want or what you need. The only catch is you have to ask. My grandmother would say, with a plate, please. Allow businesses the ability to provide self-service stations which allow customers to take the items that they need. It requires third-party ordering systems to provide for the customer's ability to request single-service items. It does prohibit the bundling of single-use items. So if ever you have gone to a store and gotten yourself a yogurt container and ended up walking out with a sealed plastic baggie, which had a knife, a fork, a spoon, salt and pepper, and a napkin. Many of those things had nothing to do with your yogurt. That's going to be something in the past. Now you have to be able to select the item you actually need. It does prohibit businesses from providing plastic stirrers and plastic splash sticks, which are those little sticks that I would assume that Starbucks created, because I don't remember them existing before Starbucks, that go into the little hole on their cups. However, businesses can provide non-plastic versions of these items, much like any other of the items we're talking about, simply upon request. And most importantly, it encourages us all to think about what we need so that we can reduce what we throw away, and we can reduce also what we ask our local businesses to pay for. Equally important, what this bill does not do, it does not require our businesses to buy more expensive alternatives. It does not impact congregate care facilities such as nursing homes or the way meals are delivered to patients in hospitals. It does not prevent our Department of Health or any other agency from implementing special rules during an emergency, and it does not stop grocery stores or other stores from selling boxed items of any of these sorts on their shelves. This bill, while quick by some standards, was definitely a many-month process. In the fall, we first held meetings with the Department of Health, who have worked extensively with us on this bill, and we are very thankful for their support. We sat down with environmental advocates, representatives from convenience stores and grocery store associations, restaurants and restaurant owners, school superintendents, third-party platform operators, you name it. If we thought they might have an interest in how this worked, we sat down and we met with them. And I'm happy to say that this legislation received positive feedback from all corners. An enormous thank you to my colleague, Nancy Barr, who unfortunately is not with us today. We talked about getting a cardboard cutout of her, but we didn't think about that in enough time. The central staff, especially our legislative director, Marcela Figueroa, again, the commissioner and deputy commissioner of health who have been with us all along the ride, and Shauna McLeod in our law department. This common sense law is a simple but bold first step for Westchester. And so today we are so happy to be here to sign, upon request, Westchester's new initiative to reduce waste and save our local businesses money, all while continuing to provide customers with what they need. Thank you.
We all owe a debt of gratitude to legislator Erica Pierce for her initiative in bringing this forward, and to Chairwoman Borgia for her leadership overall of the Board of Legislators. We're joined today by a number of leaders of the board. A number of our senior leaders are unable to be with us here today. The previously mentioned Vice Chair Nancy Barr, our Majority Leader Chris Johnson, our Minority Leader Margaret Cunzio, and then the respective Majority and Minority Whips, Jose Alvarado, James Nolan, are unable to be with us today. But it's important to note that this passed unanimously by the Board of Legislators, so it's actually tripartisanship that was at work here today. And you may not see that in Washington, you rarely see it in Albany, but here in Westchester County, that is a hallmark of good legislation that comes before me in my capacity as executive to sign. Let me recognize our Commissioner of Health, Dr. Charlita Amler, who has been an absolute rock for us during this whole COVID experience and other things that have come our way. And as Erica alluded to, our health department was able to assist the legislator as she worked through different elements of this issue. So Charlita, thank you on behalf of all of us for your work and your team's work. And let me recognize the members of the legislature who are here with us today. To my right, your left as you're looking, we have Legislator David Tubiolo of Yonkers, who is chair of the Parks Committee. We have immediately next to me, Catherine Parker, legislator from Rye, who is chair of the Human Services, Human Rights, and Equity Committee. We have Damon Marr from New Rochelle, who is the chair of the Law and Major Contracts Committee. We have Jewel Williams Johnson, who is chair of the Health Committee. We have with us Vedat Gashi, who chairs the Committee on Budget and Appropriations. And I don't know if we have any other legislators who've joined us, but there are 16 legislators in the chair, and having served in this body myself, I see my old picture up there on the wall. This is a group of people that work very hard. They're very creative, and we hope that we'll have many more opportunities to sit and sign additional good legislation into order. So it does fall upon me, given my responsibilities as county executive, to take this. Now I'm going to sit down and read it briefly and sign it into law.
To the desk. So exciting.
These laws have committee reports that accompany the actual legislation. This was voted out by the Committee on Legislation and the Committee on Environment, Energy, and Climate. Those members that signed it before it went before the board, and there was a number of different elements of issues that were discussed and debated. This law amends or creates Chapter 542 of the laws of the state of New York. It's a new chapter, so it's a creation of an additional chapter with the various descriptions that puts into legal writing what Legislator Pierce has just outlined as the policy. And on the last page, Local Law Intro 2022, number 523, this is passed by the Board of Legislators of the County of Westchester by votes 16 votes for and 0 votes against on the 6th day of March 2023. There was one vacant seat in the legislature, which has been subsequently elected, and David M. Memorial will come to serve within the month. It's certified by Sunday Vanderberg, who's the clerk of the County Board of Legislators. And then on this day, the 7th day of March 2023, my signature as county executive will make it law for Westchester County. So I have signed it, George Latimer as county executive. And Legislator Pierce, are you right behind me, I assume?
With pride.
That pen is yours,
Thank
and
you.
Madam
Very
Chair, for an
exciting.
accomplishment of this board.
For Vice Chair Barr when she returns.
Very good. And those of us in the administration are very grateful that the legislature has acted in this fashion. I don't know if there's any other legislators that'd like to share a few thoughts. I guess we should open that up, so any legislators that would like to would. But we're very grateful to be here, and I hope to be back for more good things to sign.
Absolutely.
Thank you.